Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, great to have you. Today we're going to be diving into the top 10 safest CS2 investments in Counter-Strike. So whether you're just getting started or looking to make some smarter moves with your inventory, you're in the right place. Now, if you're into CS2 skins, cases, market trends, and long-term investment strategies, make sure to hit that follow button. I post almost daily with updates, tips, and everything to do with CS2 investments, so you'll never miss a beat. Before we jump straight into the top 10 list, I just quickly want to go over what actually makes a skin a good investment in the first place. Because not every cool looking item is going to grow in value over time, so there are a few key things to always look for. Firstly, we're going to talk about the discontinued items. If the item is no longer dropping in the game, that means the supply is locked and can only go down as the more people hold on to them. Secondly, we're going to look at a limited supply. Some skins were only available for a short time in small numbers, which creates a natural scarcity. And finally, demand. This one is huge. If a skin is popular in the community, used by pros, or only looks amazing, it will always have buyers willing to pay a premium down the road. With all that in mind, let's get into it. The top 10 safest CS2 investments right now. Coming in at number 10, we've got the Vulcan, a classic that's been steadily climbing in value ever since it's dropped. This skin was released back in 2014 as part of the Huntsman weapon case, which hasn't really been in the active drop pool for years. That alone makes it an interesting candidate for a long-term holding because the supply is officially capped. And unlike cases that still drop, there's no fresh influx of these skins hitting the market. And that covers one of the big factors for me when looking at a long-term good investment. Now, what makes the Vulcan stand out even more is its clean, modern design. Tons of players love how it looks in-game, and it's often used by popular streamers and pros. This keeps the demand consistently high, especially for the lower float versions or the StatTrak variants. It's also one of the more premium AK skins, and it sits just below their friends Fire Serpent and, for example, the Gold Arabesque, making it a more accessible for the mid-tier investors. So if you're looking for something with a strong long-term potential and a solid history of price growth, the Vulcan is a great place to start. At number 9, we've got the Operation Phoenix weapon case, a case that often flies under the radar, but it absolutely earns a spot on the list for a few key reasons. First off, it's discontinued. It hasn't been in the active drop pool for years, which means the supply is frozen. That's exactly what you want to see in a solid investment. Limited availability with increasing scarcity over time. But what really makes the Phoenix case stand out is what's inside. It contains some of the most iconic classic knives. We're talking about the original OG knife finishes like the Karambit Fade and Bayonet Slaughter. These knives are from the original knife pool, which many collectors and high-tier investors value much more than the newer finishes. On top of that, it features the AVP Asimov and the AK-47 Redline, two skins with a massive, long-standing demand. The blues and the purple skins in the Phoenix case are used for trade-up for the Redline and the Asimov. That gives the lower-tier skins an actual utility, which helps with the value of the entire case. The more players that actually craft trade-ups, the fewer skins will actually remain in circulation. So, when you combine the discontinued status, the high-tier trade-up potential, the iconic knives, and the evergreen demand, the Phoenix case becomes a smart, low-risk investment with a great long-term upside. At number 8, we've got the Norse Collection, a collection that stands out for having one of the lowest population of skins in the entire game. This is home of one of the legendary AVP skins, the Gungnir, which is way out of budget for most people, but that doesn't mean the rest of the collection should be ignored. In fact, some of the best opportunities lie in the blues and purple skins of the collection. They have been seeing a slow but steady increase in value over the past years. Because the Norse Collection is no longer available through regular means, the supply is fixed. And as more players craft trade-ups or collect these skins, the market just keeps thinning out. The demand doesn't go away, especially with the high-end collectors and investors always chasing that dream of eventually owning a Gungnir. That interest keeps the entire collection relevant, even for the low-tier skins that have become a solid, low-risk option for the long-term growth. I just quickly here wanted to include an example. For example, here we can look at the Night Boar, one of the light blues from the Norse collection, where we can see that the skin has almost doubled in price every 2 years. That's a 50% growth yearly. Okay, coming in at number 7. I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter, but it's definitely earned a spot on the list. It's the Train collection. This collection has been out of the drop pool for quite a while now, and over time, the limited supply has created some solid investment potential. We've seen a nice, steady growth across most of the skins, with some, like the Mac-10 Candy Apple, even doubling in price over just a few months. It might not look to be the flashiest set, but that clean, classic design and the increasing rarity makes it one to watch. Plus, many of these skins are still relatively affordable, which opens the door for both casuals and serious investors. Quietly climbing and easy to overlook, the Train collection is a sleeper pick worth considering. Okay, coming in at number 6, we've got a true OG. The CSGO weapon case. This was the first ever case released in the game, and because of that, it holds this very special place in the eyes of the collectors. On top of that, it's the only case featuring all of the OG knife finishes like the Fade, Slaughter, and Case Harden. Those knives consistently demand a premium on the market. For collectors, this case is like owning a piece of CSGO history, and for investors, the historical weight gives it some serious long-term potential. Inside of the case, you've got classics like the AK Case Harden, which still holds strong value, especially for rare pattern collectors chasing for those infamous blue gems. Because this case has been discontinued for years, and it was opened heavily when it first dropped, the remaining supply is extremely limited. These don't get unboxed very often, partly because of their price, but also because most of them are sitting in collectors' inventories or long-term holds. What makes this case so special from an investment angle is that it's both collectible and desirable to open. That balance is very rare. You've got demand from people who want to unbox the iconic AK Case Harden and the OG knives, and you also got the demand from investors who want to hold a piece of the CSGO early days. It's definitely on the more expensive side when it comes to sealed cases, but the CSGO weapon case has proven time and time again that it's a legendary item. And it's an item that is not going anywhere but up. Alright, taking the number 5 spot is the St. Mark's collection, and if you've been paying attention, this one should feel familiar. Just like the Norse collection we covered earlier at number 8, the St. Mark collection is a discontinued and low in circulation case, and packed with high value skins that make it one of the strongest long-term plays in CS2 investing. In fact, these two collections are so similar in terms of structure and potential that it's almost impossible to make a proper investment list without mentioning both of them. And of course, at heart of this collection is the fan favorite Wild Lotus. For most of us, buying Lotus isn't realistic, but the demand it creates and drives up the value of everything below it. Blue and purple fillers from this collection have already steadily been rising over the years, and there are no signs of it slowing down. Here's something I hear all the time: it's too late, prices are already too high, but give it 2 more years and those are the same people who are saying, man, I should have invested back then. We've seen this cycle repeat over and over again. CS2 is growing faster than ever and the player base is only getting bigger, meaning older, rare collections like the St. Mark is just keep getting squeezed. So whether you're going for those trade-up fillers or if you're picking one of those mid-tier pieces or just holding anything from the collection, the St. Mark lineup is one of those no-brainer, proven investments that has a reward for patience. Coming in at number 4 is the Operation Broken Fang case, a case that's been heating up the investment scene and still has plenty of room to grow. This case dropped during the Operation Broken Fang, and just like every operation case before it, it was only available for a limited time. Once the operation ended, the case was removed from active drops, meaning the supply is now fixed. Now what makes the Broken Fang case a real standout is the premium skin lineup. We're talking about the M41AS print stream, which is one of the most popular and most used M4 skins in the entire game. Combine that with the high tier demand skins like the Glock Neo Noir or the USPS Monster Mashup, and you've got a case that people still want to open even at rising prices. And let's not forget, this case introduced the Broken Fang glove set, which introduced some of the cleanest, most expensive gloves in CS2 right now. That's a huge drive of demand. People are still chasing gloves from this case, and the demand isn't going anywhere. From an investment standpoint, it's the perfect mix. Limited supply, high-end skins, and desirable glove drops. Plus, it's relatively affordable compared to the older operation cases like the Shattered Web or the Hydra. If you're looking for a case that's already proven itself but still has future growth potential, the Broken Fang case is top tier option. Okay, kicking off our top 3 is an absolute legend, the Operation Bravo case. This case is pure history. Released all the way back in 2013 during the original Bravo operation, it's one of the oldest and rarest cases in the entire game. Because it's been discontinued for over a decade, the supply is extremely limited. These don't just get open anymore, they are hoarded by collectors and long-term investors who know exactly what this case represents. Inside you've got some true icons, including the AK-47 Fire Serpent, which is still one of the most sought after AK skins too. This case also includes the OG knife finishes, making it even more valuable as the demand for these classic knives continues to rise. But what makes the Operation Bravo case such a strong investment isn't just the rarity of the high tier drops. It also checks every single box that I stated in the beginning of this video. Discontinued? Absolutely. Limited supply? Almost gone. Demand? Sky high. Now yes, this case is already expensive, but here's the thing. So was the Bravo case 5 years ago, and yet it's just kept climbing. I see people hesitate because of the price tag, but with a case this rare and this iconic, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to get in. If you're a serious long-term investor looking for a blue chip item in the CS2 market, the Operation Bravo case is as close to gold as it gets. Alright, taking the number 2 spot, and this might surprise some people, we've got the M4A4 red DD pad from the Dust 2 collection. Now I know what you're thinking. Really? A red DD pad at number 2? But hear me out. This skin has been one of the most steady performers in the entire CS2 market. And I'm not talking about the actual percentage gains. I'm talking about the very minimum amount of dips it has ever had in its entire lifetime. It's an extremely clean upwards price trend over the past few years, and the reason for that is simple. One of the key trade-up skins for the Gold Arabesque is the red DD Pat. Not only that, it's also the Mac 10 case hardened right above it. So when you're using one of these red DD Pats in a trade-up, you have a chance of getting a Blue Gem Mac 10, which has thousands of dollars overpay. While yes, technically you can still get this skin from a souvenir form, I'm talking about the non-souvenir versions. The standard original drop and the version is now completely unobtainable. There are no more active drops and no more new supply, just the open market. The red DD Pad also benefits from a really interesting position. It's not flashy, it's not hyped by influencers, but it's functionally valuable. That means that the demand is consistent and it flies under the radar of a hype-driven price swings. It's the kind of item that serious investors love. It's quiet, reliable, and rare. And here's another angle to consider. If history repeats, we're probably due for a new Dust 2 themed collection sometime in the future. But even if that happens, I highly doubt Valve would ever fully retire Dust. It's just too much of an iconic map. Still, the original Dust 2 collection holds that legacy, so while it may not be flashy, the red DD Pad is a rock-solid investment with limited supply. It has a proven track record and slow, steady growth. That's exactly the type of skin we want to include in this video. Safe, CS2, good investments. And finally, taking the number 1 spot of the safest CS2 investment right now is none other than the revolver case. Now, some of you might actually be surprised by this one as well, but most of you probably understand exactly why. The revolver case is everything an investor could ever want, packed into one incredibly overlooked package. First of all, it's the cheapest case on the market that still contains all of the original OG knives. It includes the fades, the slaughters, the case hardens, the dopplers, you name it, the knives are there. These knives are in constant demand, especially as the newer player base comes in and wants to find that classic look. And when you're paying just a fraction of the price compared to what other cases with the same knife pool, that's opportunity. Secondly, this case has never dipped in value. Go back and check the charts yourself. It's been slow, steady, and consistent. There's no volatility, no overhype, just pure, reliable growth. That's exactly what you want in a long-term hold. And get this, it's not just sitting there. The revolver case is one of the highest open cases that is no longer active in the drop pool. That means supply is actively shrinking day by day. And that wraps up the list of the top 10 best and safest CS2 investments right now. Whether you're stacking cases, hunting for that old school skin, or just looking for a smart place to park your money in the market, there's something here for every type of investor. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and follow for some more CS2 content. And let me know down in the comment what is your favorite investment pick right now. I'm always down to hear your thoughts or discuss the market further. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.